welcome back to my channel. So to get started, for materials you will need a backpack with a front pocket, lace/trim of your choice, clear vinyl, you don't need a lot for this project, some pearl pins to mark your place and keep things in place when we are sewing, a Sharpie for marking, some thread that matches, some hand sewing needles, fabric of your choice, hot glue gun and the glue sticks, scissors, alcohol, cotton balls, a seam ripper, an X-Acto knife/utility knife, and some foam core or cardboard. I do suggest foam core though, because it's just a little more sturdier and easier to work with. So let's get started. Hi, so to get started, I want to let you guys know I've actually already done an Ita Bag video. It's themed after Sailor Moon, and it's been posted for some time now, and it's been greatly received from all of you, so thank you very much. Feel free to check that one out. This one is a different take on an Ita Bag look. So my bag above I purchased from Wish for about $13, which is great, inexpensive mini cat-themed backpack. So I wanted to do a different take on the Ita bags. Typically Ita bags are the entire front of the bag, but this time I wanted to show you guys how I'm going to turn this front zip pouch of the backpack and turn the front zipper into the Ita Bag window. So, themed after Kiki's Delivery Service, which is one of my favorite Studio Ghibli movies, I thought I would turn this cat-themed mini backpack into a Kiki-themed backpack. So let's get started, and I'm excited to show you what to do next. So getting started, this bag is really fun colored, by the way, because I really like this kind of taupey brown, natural brown look, which is really nice. Most of my bags, including my Sailor Moon Ita bag, is more brightly colored, and sometimes you want to dress down a little bit and have more things and themes with more neutral colors. So to get started, I'm going to use my seam ripper and remove all the little whiskers on the front of the bag. In retrospect, this wouldn't be a problem if the whiskers weren't on here, for the reason of I'm going to be removing this front pocket for the most part anyways, but I decided to remove the whiskers because it would be a little easier to do the stencil and for me to cut around the front opening. So gently using your seam ripper, remove all the whiskers. Now I have considered saving the whiskers and then reattaching them to the clear pocket window and have them kind of frill out like the cat whiskers would be doing. But the vinyl is a little thin. I feel like it would curl over time, so I decided to get stiff. Once the whiskers have all been removed, I'm going to take my ruler and use my marking tool, in this case a very thin Sharpie, and mark about a third or a fourth around from the seam of where the backpack opening is. This way I'll have a consistent opening for my Ita Bag window. Once I have made my consistent marking all the way around my Ita Bag window, I'm going to take an X-Acto knife just to get started and puncture the first layer. So the tough part about a front pocket on a bag is they're actually pretty shallow, not very deep. So I'm going to use the X-Acto knife just to get at least started, at least an inch, so I can stick my scissors in there and make a more precise cut all the way around. If you do have more gentle hands, you can use an X-Acto knife all the way around the pocket, but I don't feel confident about that for myself. I am more comfortable with scissors, so be sure to take your time with this and be very careful. Once you have cut out the Ita Bag window for your vinyl, it's time to work with the vinyl. So I am choosing a medium thickness vinyl. It's really hard to explain the weight because it's different depending on the brand, but you can find clear vinyl in the home decor section of your fabric store. And you'll know by touching the vinyl by the thickness how when you roll your fingers across it, if it feels like a piece of paper versus closer to like thick cardboard feels. So using the pocket I just cut out from the front Ita Bag window, I'm going to use that as my stencil and trace around with using that as a pattern, for lack of a better word, on top of the clear vinyl. So I am going to use a pair of scissors and cut this out now, but I'm going to leave about a ½ an inch away from my cuts. That way there is some seam allowance, for lack of a better word, and I'm able to pull and tug and hand sew this into the window without having any trouble and having some extra room to work with. Once your vinyl has been cut out, and like I said before, this isn't a lot of vinyl, which is great, so you don't have to spend a lot of money on purchasing vinyl, we are going to take a cotton ball and some alcohol and remove all the Sharpie from both the vinyl and the backpack, just to make sure everything looks nice. Once you have cleaned up your Sharpie markings, and by this way this should come off no problem with using alcohol with Sharpie on most materials. In my case, my backpack is a faux leather and vinyl, so it comes off no problem, but that's why we use a thin Sharpie, so you hardly see anything, but we are just doing this just in case and make everything look nice. So now we are taking our clear vinyl and slowly placing it into place inside the backpack. This gets a little tricky because everything is sewn together and you cannot take this piece off and look at it from the back. Mind you, you could remove this entire pocket and attach this separately and then reattach the pocket to the backpack, but that's just a little more work than I want to do right now. So I'm just going to do this route. I'm just gently taking my time and going around the vinyl and pinning it into the pocket, and I'm doing this really close to the edge of where the pocket was cut because I want to make sure there's no extra holes punctured into the faux leather more than there has to be. Not that it matters too much, because I am going to be hand sewing this on top of the markings I just made with the pins, and I'm going to be doing a trim on top of it later. So now taking a hand sewing needle and some matching thread that's really close to the backpack, although again for my case it doesn't matter too much because I'm going to put a trim on top of it anyways. So if you happen to realize you only have white thread with a dark bag like I do, don't panic too much if you're going to put a trim on top of it, because it really doesn't matter. You're going to cover anyways. We're doing this to secure the vinyl to the backpack opening of the pocket. So right now I'm doing a running stitch. It's just keeping everything in place and taking my time to directionally go around the pocket hole. Take your time with this. I'm doing very small running stitches, not very wide. If you don't know what a running stitch is, or just basic hand sewing, I'm sure there's tons of videos here on YouTube to assist you with that. If not, I mean, you can see right here, it's not terribly hard to do, but just take your time going around, and I'm going to do another reinforced stitch after that. But just take your time because this is the sturdiness of your bag, and keeping your pins and everything inside safe and gonna fall, you don't want them to fall out. So yeah, just take your time with this one. So once you have completed your running stitch that is all the way around the vinyl silhouette here is parallel to where the opening is where we cut, and be sure to tie it off securely. I'm going to do another stitch vertical to it just for stability and make sure it lasts time a little bit better. All your stitching is secured and tied off, I am now going to get started on my trim that I wanted to use for my bag. So I picked up this really nice kind of sheer black trim from Joann's, and it's about a yard. This actually happens to be an elastic trim, not ideal for what I wanted because it doesn't need to stretch to go around the opening here when I glue it around, but I liked it for the look, so I'm going to use it anyways because I really like this more daintier frill trim to go around. Using your hot glue gun, you're going to do, I decided to start my tails at the bottom and hide them when I go around. Just take your time with your glue gun doing small sections about 1 inch just to make sure that everything's in place and it's well attached. So yeah, I'm just doing 1 inch, a couple inches around and using the trim. So just do, oh, and be sure to make sure you're putting your glue right where your seam is, where your vinyl meets your backpack. Just to make sure that you're reinforcing your stitches. It's just another opportunity to make sure that the stability of this bag is going to last. After I have attached the lace trim, I decided to go back over with the second trim. This one has like a chain of pom-poms, little black pom-poms. I just thought this was super cute and added a little more texture in my bag. So I'm going to do the same thing all the way around once more. Checking out the bag, I really like what I've done so far, but I decided that the little black ears need a little more oomph and be a little thicker because they're a little dainty compared to the rest of the bag. Plus, Gigi's ears are majority of his face in ratio perspective. Mind you, by the time I'm done adding this trim to the ears, it's not nearly as big to Gigi's ears, but I thought this would help at least. So taking the little pom-pom trim once more and just going over where the little black faux fur ears were already made into the bag and just add a little extra to them. Once I added the little pom-pom trim to the ears, I decided I needed a little bit more. So using the pom-pom black trim, I decided to attach more of the trim to where the seam of this pocket meets the front of the backpack. You'll see here in a moment, but I feel like this added a little bit more and it needed a little more fun. So once we have completed making our pocket for our Ita bag look super cute, it is time to do the backer for the Ita bag pins and accessories that you'll be placing to display into your Ita bag. So using foam core, we will be using the same pattern. I don't know why I didn't put this on camera. I'm really sorry about that. Just use the same piece that you used to cut out from the original pocket as a stencil and place it down on your Ita bag and trace it and add just a little bit of a seam allowance and cut on your seam allowance line with an X-Acto knife. The X-Acto knife is sharp, so again, be very careful. I am cutting this on a healing mat. A healing mat is a great item to have if you are a DIYer or a sewer. It is very similar to a cutting board, so if you have a cutting board, you feel free to use that instead. And yeah, just take your time cutting out the backer for your Ita bag accessories. So using some fabric of your choice. I decided to go with this green fabric from the flat quarter section inside the fabric store. This section is really nice because they're already cut to be about a half a yard, sometimes a fourth of a yard depending on the fabric, to be used for quilting, and it's not a lot of fabric, and usually there's sales on them, so they're really inexpensive and nice to use on DIY projects such as this. Now, mind you, I did use the green fabric for this video, but when I was done and I looked back at the bag, I enjoyed this green fabric because it reminds me of the green foliage from poking through all the beautiful brick inside the movie, and when Kiki goes to the forest and tries to find the plushie, but it just looked a little too Christmas to me, so by the time I added like accessories and the charms in there with her red bow, I just did not like it. So later I did go back and redo this with a cloud fabric. So you will see this at the end of the video, that's cloud fabric and not the screen fabric, but it is exactly the same process. So don't feel like I did something different because it's exactly the same. I just chose different fabric in the final thing. But taking your piece of foam core that we cut out, I'm going to put a little bit of foam, little bit of hot glue on the edge of the foam core and just slowly use pressure to fit the fabric and pull it around it. So just to make sure that on the underside it is completely flat and actually is a background that has no seams in it or whatnot. Ideally, ironing this fabric ahead of time would be great, but my fabric wasn't really folded, so if you need to iron it, feel free to. But just taking your hot glue gun, we're going to do small sections and slowly tug the fabric around and make it flat. Once you have used your glue gun to fit the fabric around your stencil for your background of your Ita Bag pocket, I'm going to trim away the excess fabric. This isn't necessarily important, it's just, you know, aesthetic and making it more cleaned up. I guess this also helps as if the extra fabric ever decide to flop in front of your charms or accessories, this would just keep it from doing so. Now the fun part, actually decorating your Ita Bag with all your cute accessories and findings. I do have this Kiki patch I've gotten a long time ago. I can never decide where I want to put this Kiki patch on my clothing, but I thought it'd be a perfect little front piece of my backpack. So I am placing that right above the cat ears, and now I am taking my charms and things I've saved that are Kiki themed and orientating them on my little backboard. So I have this really cute bookmark that I'll probably never use. I'm afraid to get it ruined because it has a holographic finish that you can't really see right now from this angle. But and this Kiki sticker, I just really like it, so I decided to use it in my bag. I also have Studio Ghibli pins that I got when I went to Japan, and they are so precious to me. I don't want them to fall off on my clothing and just be gone into the abyss, so I'm going to use them into my Ita Bag, so that way if they ever fall at all in the pocket, they'll just fall into the bottom of the pocket and they won't get lost. This is a charm I've had forever. I actually used that little Gigi plushie for my Kiki's Delivery Service cosplay. It was a charm on the radio that I put on my broom. This little Gigi charm on the cage. He's also from Japan and one of the gift shops in Japan. And that one Kiki button down there, that's actually my art. I do sell those, haha. If you want to buy them, you can go to my Etsy shop. But yeah, I really like Kiki's Delivery Service. It's just now that Kiki is being more acknowledged in products, so it's really nice to see her as charms and accessories. But yeah, just take your time decorating it, making it look beautiful. And if you do need more tips on how to attach more unique odd accessories into your Ita Bag that are just not pins or buttons like stickers or bookmarks or charms like me, I did use an assortment of really cool findings and charms and precious items in my Sailor Moon Ita Bag. So if you wanted more tips on more odd things to be able to put in your Ita Bag, that would be an option to check out the video specifically for that reason, because I haven't really seen a lot of people do what I do with Ita bags and be a little more, you know, different, I guess, but not really something you see every day. I also have this Kiki acrylic. I love the artist. I'll be sure to tag the artists I do know in the description that are not like official, that are fan art, that are really cute. But yeah, so now we're just gonna take our time figuring out the beauteousness of how to organize this Ita bag. So once you've decided on how you want to do the orientation of all the items on your backer board for your Ita bag, you could take a picture just so you remember where everything goes. It's now time to figure out the placement of everything. So this bookmark, it's a little long, so I am going to trim it a little, even though it pains me to cut this beautiful bookmark, but you know, I'm not going to use it for a bookmark. I do like the artwork and I do want to be safe in here forever, so I am going to fit her into place and trim her accordingly so she fits into the bag. I am also going to use just a little bit of acid-free double-sided scrapbooking tape on the back side of her so she stays in the place when she's on my board. So Hot Topic has been doing like Studio Ghibli themed items, which I really appreciate, but I recently got these really cute Kiki's Delivery Service earrings, but this is Kiki Silhouette here, but I only have one of them. I don't know where the other one went, and it's actually really hard to see Kiki when it's in your ear, so I thought I would use this as kind of like an accessory for this. So I'm using this to hold also the bookmark into place. So I just thought it'd be a good opportunity to show off this cute earring that only has one, but when it's on this bag, you know, it's more appreciated, I suppose. So this is another really cute artist I follow on Instagram. She is super cute. It is a sticker that she makes at home. It doesn't have any protective qualities like UV or waterproof, and I don't want it to get damaged. I also thought it'd be perfect for this bag, so I decided also to use double-sided tape and place it on the back. I know it has a sticker back, but I didn't want it to be too sticky or possibly ruin the Ita bag background if I ever want to resituate all my items inside and make it too sticky and gross. And I know this is acid-free double-sided tape, so it won't damage my fabric at all, so yeah. So this acrylic charm, I love it. It's also from one of my favorite artists, and this acrylic charm, I also have a Sailor Moon version on my Sailor Moon Ita bag because I just love this artist so much. I am going to remove all the findings on it, the loop, the keychain part, because I'm going to be hand sewing this acrylic charm into place. This is a really nice thing to do for the reason of one of my biggest things about Ita bags is they're super cute, but it's sad when you have so many charms and everything slaps each other in the face and you can't see the art very well. And I just want to make sure everything's in place and safe and not going to scratch each other and stuff. So removing all the findings, the little acrylic charm has a loop on the top. So using a matching thread and a hand sewing needle, again, I'm going to hand sew the acrylic loop to the backer board to keep it into place. So this charm won't fly around everywhere and it will be perfectly displayed and show off its beautifulness. So yeah. I am hand sewing this and tying it off in the back. If you would like a more detailed explanation of how I attach acrylic charms in this form, hand sewing them to the backboard of Ita Bag, feel free to again visit my first Ita Bag video because it's a little more detailed and shows you more options and ways to attach your charms that may be a little more difficult and you'd like to display them in a more artistically collage way like me. Again, I just like doing this for the reason of I really want to make sure all the art is displayed and I can see it and enjoy its beautifulness. So yeah. I just love this charm. This one I did get from the Studio Ghibli Museum. If your pin bag does not fit on the back of it and your cardboard or your foam core is too thick, don't worry, you can save your pin bag for a later time, as if you wanted to wear this pin in your clothes and not have it display on your Ita Bag for a moment for an outfit, that's fine. This little GG charm I've had since like early 2000 when maybe even older than that, when I first started getting really into anime and enamel pins weren't that popular back then. I believe they're like, I got this back when I had like Fruits Basket pins and Chobits pins, which I still do have. They're displayed on my pin board, but yeah, this one's a really old school pin. But again, if your backer doesn't fit, you can always save your backers for when you want to wear them in an outfit. And yeah, if you feel like it's slipping, you can use like an eraser just to make sure it's a stopper in a very shallow space. I am going to attach this little GG plushie charm to the thing, same case like I did the acrylic, and use the little loop top to, it has a little fabric loop top, that's why I'm taking off the metal one, to attach it to the Ita Bag background. Another really cute Studio Ghibli Museum pin I picked up. This one's themed after, at the end when Kiki gets the little iron silhouette cut out of her, nailed to the front of her door for her delivery service. And it's just super cute, so I just love this pin. This pin I picked up recently from another really nice artist. This one's a B grade, I guess. It has a like an imperfection. I don't see it. It's a beautiful pin. So I'm going to, and I really like that it's pink, so I'm all about the pinks. I'm just figuring out where the last little bit of charms go. Again, oh god, I love Kiki's delivery service. This just makes me so happy. I know it took me a long time to collect all this stuff. Some of the stuff is many, many years of just saving and wondering what I would do with it because it's super cute, but where I'm going to put it and I don't want to get hurt. So I'm really glad that I have this Ita Bag now to display my love of Kiki's delivery service. Once again, I do want to tell you that at the end of the video, you will see the back again, and it will not have this green background. It'll have a cloud fabric background. And I did change the orientation of them a little bit because I just thought it looked better for some reason. You know, you're allowed to change your mind. But yeah, now to test things out, you slip it into the little zip front pocket and make sure everything is in place. And yeah, guys, I'm really happy with the way this turned out. Oh, and if you're wondering about the little keychain hanging off my bag, it is a cat paw that looks like a biscuit, and it's squishy. And I got this a really long time ago in one of my Doki Crate boxes, monthly subscription boxes. I thought it'd be really cute on my bag. And yeah, looking pretty stinking cute right now. So I'm really thankful between the filming of this bag. It did take a long time for me to complete this video, and I'm so sorry about that. I was able to get a few more Kiki Delivery Service charms and accessories to add to the bag, which clearly looks different right here, zooming in and seeing everything together. I'm really excited that I was able to do my fashion-forward, modern-day Kiki version of myself for Halloween this past year, Halloween 2018. And it was a lot of fun to wear. I did wear my Kiki Ita bag, and I was recognized, so I'm glad I didn't like change the design too much of what Kiki looks like into my style. I have a drawing here from October that I did of me in my Kiki costume and some screenshots of me in my Halloween costume. But yes, aside from adding a few more things to the bag, I did attach the patch that I showed in the beginning of the video to the front of the bag as well. And I know this particular backpack doesn't work for every Ita bag, but mine particularly worked really nicely because finding Kiki materials and accessories and charms is not as common, so it was a very small collection to begin with. So this little pocket feature window worked really well for featuring my favorite, which Kiki's Delivery Service. Hey guys, so this is my finished bag. This is with the cloud background. I did add a bow on the top that's just attached with glue, and it has a little more of that trim on it. And yeah, here's my bag. Turned out pretty good. There is my keychain and my little Gigi. I just made this resin piece that has Kiki in it in the clouds. So yeah, here's my bag. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a magical day. Bye.